A friend of mine once described having ADHD like this. My goal every day is to just be able to stay still for more than 5 minutes and just be able to focus on one thing and finish it. There is a huge misconception out there still that ADHD is nothing but the inability to focus. In my years working as a counselor, I've learned that ADHD is a lot more than a lack of focus. Even in 2024, where there's a lot more mental health awareness and acceptance, we're unaware of how poor mental health truly impacts the people we love. So in this video, let's talk about signs and symptoms of ADHD and also talk about some solutions. What is ADHD? Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, is a neurobehavioral disorder. Someone with ADHD will often have problems maintaining their attention on one thing for a long period of time. They're hyperactive and impulsive, all of which interferes with their daily functioning. ADHD is a disorder that affects both children and adults, and it can significantly impact all areas of life, including school, work, and relationships. The CDC estimates that in 2022, 7 million children between the ages of 3 and 17 were diagnosed with ADHD in the United States. A 2023 study found that about 5% of adults in the United States are also diagnosed with ADHD. So despite this misconception that ADHD is a disorder that affects only children, it is a disorder that's also found in adults. Signs of ADHD. Now let's break down the signs of ADHD a little bit more. I think it's worth mentioning that everyone has days when they feel scattered or restless. With ADHD though, these symptoms happen a lot. And like I said earlier, they can get in the way of everyday life. Inattention. Here's an example of what this can feel like. Imagine having a TV remote with a mind of its own. You're trying to watch your favorite TV show, but it keeps flipping through channels. You're trying to focus on having a conversation, but your brain is like, hey, look at that bird, or I need to take the car in for an oil change. I heard a TED Talk once where the speaker explained this feeling like trying to nail jelly to a wall. You start one task, then something else catches your eye, and suddenly you're down a rabbit hole with no idea how you got there. And it's not that you don't want to focus, it's just that your brain is playing a game of musical chairs all the time. And attention is always the first one without a seat when the music stops. Hyperactivity. The ADHD brain is always on the move. Hyperactivity in children and adults with ADHD looks a bit different. In kids, it's like they've got springs for legs and rocket fuel for breakfast. They're up and running, jumping, climbing, and fidgeting, even when it's time to sit still. It's not just the wiggles either. It's like their whole body is shouting, "Let's move." The hyperactivity isn't as severe in adults though, but it can still feel as if you're always on a treadmill without an off switch. There's a constant feeling of restlessness. And trying to wind down or chill out when you feel this way is nearly impossible. Hyperactivity in ADHD is all about having this endless energy that you can't quite control. There's a great quote by psychiatrist Edward Hallowell that seemed to capture this chaos so well. He says, "A person with ADHD has the power of a Ferrari engine, but with a bicycle-strength brakes. It's the mismatch of engine power to braking capability that causes the problems. So strengthening one's brakes is the name of the game." Impulsivity. Impulsivity in ADHD looks like acting before thinking, whether you're a kid or an adult. Imagine a kid blurting out answers in class or jumping ahead in line because waiting is just too hard. Or maybe they're climbing higher than they should without thinking about the danger. That's impulsivity in action for kids. For adults, it might mean making snap decisions without thinking about the consequences. Like buying something you don't need because it looks cool, or changing jobs on a whim without really planning it out. Sometimes it's about emotions too, like getting really angry or really sad without really knowing why. And sometimes it's just putting things off until the last minute because, well, who wants to do chores when there's so much other stuff to do, right? So whether you're a kid or a grown-up with ADHD, impulsivity can make life a bit more unpredictable. What causes ADHD? ADHD doesn't have a single clear cause, but researchers believe it's a combination of factors. One big factor, though, is genetics. If someone in your family has ADHD, you're more likely to have it too. Kind of like inheriting a trait similar to how you might inherit mom's eyes or your dad's height. A single gene responsible for ADHD hasn't been identified yet. So in the meantime, researchers suggest that a combination of genes, environmental factors, and trauma all play a role. Things like being born prematurely or being exposed to toxins like lead when you're a baby are all factors that can contribute to development of ADHD. And then there are everyday factors that can make ADHD symptoms worse, like not getting enough sleep, having a lot of stress, or not getting enough exercise. So it's this huge puzzle with lots of pieces, genes, brain stuff, and the environment basically all mixing together to create ADHD. But remember, having ADHD isn't anyone's fault. It's just the way some brains are wired. Now here's the last piece of this, which are the solutions. Managing ADHD involves a combination of strategies really tailored to each individual's unique needs. So let's talk about some of the common solutions. For kids who struggle to focus in class, sitting in front of the class can help to minimize distractions. Turning off the phone or keeping it in another room can also prevent distractions too, especially for adults. Another technique that kids and adults alike can try to stay focused on the task at hand is to use organizational tools. There's also medication options. Many people with ADHD find that medications help them manage their symptoms. And some of the most common medications that are out there for managing the symptoms of ADHD include medications like Ritalin and Adderall. They can really help improve focus and reduce the impulsivity that comes along with having ADHD. There's also some non-stimulant medications like Strattera that doctors can prescribe to someone dealing with ADHD. Starting medications of any kind should be discussed with a board-certified physician, so make sure you talk to your doctor first. Behavioral therapy. Therapy can teach practical skills to manage symptoms. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, helps people recognize and change negative thought patterns and behaviors while also focusing on developing specific strategies for managing symptoms. It's actually a really great tool if you're willing to explore it. Education and support. Learning about ADHD and how it affects you or your loved ones can be empowering. Support groups, educational resources, and workshops can really provide valuable information and strategies for coping with ADHD. Lifestyle changes. Simple lifestyle adjustments can make a huge difference. Establishing routines, breaking tasks into smaller steps, getting regular exercise, and practicing relaxation techniques like mindfulness or yoga can help to manage ADHD symptoms as well. There's also environmental modifications. Creating a supportive environment can always help. This might include minimizing distractions, setting up a quiet workspace, using visual reminders and schedules, and also implementing organizational systems. Nutrition and sleep. Eating a balanced diet and getting enough sleep are critical for managing ADHD symptoms. Some people find that certain dietary changes like reducing sugar or caffeine intake can really help improve focus and mood. Living with ADHD can be challenging, but it's important to remember that having ADHD doesn't define who you are or what you can achieve. It's just one part of what makes you unique. ADHD comes with its own set of strengths like creativity, energy, and a unique perspective on the world. With the right support, strategies, and mindset, you can learn to harness these strengths and thrive. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button to watch more. And show us your support by hitting the like button before you go. As always, remember to spread loving kindness to all beings around you and be the change you want to see in the world. Thanks for watching. See you next time.